Jaden Ivey gets kicked off the Bulls. Pam Bondi gets kicked out of the cabinet. Kristi Noem's husband is a cross-dressing weirdo. And Sid Rosenberg is still talking shit about Curtis. It's the MC Too Tall Show, and let's go.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feast and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk a doubter, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
It's the MC Too Tall Show with your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Too Tall. Okay. Donald Trump fired Pam Bondi. She's no longer Attorney General. Okay, I'm done with that story. Next story. Kristi Noem's husband, Brian Noem, is a cross-dressing freak, a freaking weirdo, and he ought to be embarrassed of himself. Okay, I'm done with that story. Let's move on. Chicago Bulls guard Jaden Ivey said in some social media posts that a woman can't get a woman pregnant. And because of that, it was considered conduct that was detrimental to the Chicago Bulls, and he got kicked off the team. They just tore up his contract. And so much for following the science. But I'd like to know, how does him saying this affect how he dribbles a basketball? How does it affect how he shoots? Can he shoot a basketball? Does he score points? The Bulls obviously don't know what they're doing. As I mentioned in the past about certain people in conservative media, the Chicago Bulls are right there with those pundits. They're on a quest for mediocrity. They're going to be in the middle of the freaking standings. Not all the way in the cellar, but far enough from the top not to get any playoff berths for years to come. They're on a quest for mediocrity. Gone are the days of Jordan, Pimpin. Did I say Pimpin? Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Okay. Gone are those days, and long gone. And I hope the Knicks pick them up. If the Knicks pick them up, we could have ourselves a good team. Get a good center. We'll make the finals. We'll make the finals a lot more often than the Nets will. But anyway, I think I'm done with that story now. Sid Rosenberg. Let's go to this little promo that's on social media.
I wish Curtis the best. I really do. I wish him the best. But there's been very few people in my life who have been more disappointing than that guy. And for you folks that still support him, that's all I'm going to say. You're also traitors and backstabbers and sellouts. And so go enjoy yourself. Go ahead. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to hear about the time he got shot by the Gaudis for the millionth time. Have a blast. Have a great time. And I'll read the ratings every Friday, and they'll basically look the same, which is Sid and Friends in the Morning is the show in this city that kicks ass.
Okay, that was from WABC Radio, 77 AM. They have an Instagram page, and they put that up there. And if you notice, they got the instrumental to Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams. They usually put that up as background music if somebody has some alpha male kick-ass and take names type of statement to say. And no, Sid. No. Cut it out. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? I get it. You decided to sell out and turn against Curtis Sliwa. And now you're mad that he's venting about it. Look, he's going to vent about it for a few weeks. Yes, it will take him weeks, okay? Take it from somebody that has both Sicilian and Polish blood in him. He's going to hold a vendetta, and he's going to be venting for weeks about it. And had you not stabbed him in the back, you wouldn't have to worry about him venting now, would you? Even if he would have lost again, you wouldn't have to worry about him venting. But you're mad that he's venting. He's got more right to talk shit about you than you do about him. Let's be real with this. You're the one that kept backing him until days before the election. And you joined the, hey, why don't you drop out? You're screwing it up for everybody. Let's rally behind Cuomo. I don't care if Donald Trump was one of those people. It was the wrong move. People legitimately do not like Andrew Cuomo more than they like Curtis Sliwa. People legitimately do not trust Andrew Cuomo to hold any executive office more than they do Curtis Sliwa. The results would have been different if it was Sliwa versus Mamdani without Cuomo up there. Maybe the point spread is a lot thinner. Maybe the deficit is a lot thinner. Maybe Curtis wins. Cuomo was the wedge in the works, and a lot of you conservative media pundits fell for it, and you backed the person that originally ran in the mayor's race as a Democrat and lost. The person that should have bowed out was the person that lost the primary to Mamdani. And we wouldn't be talking about this if there weren't people insisting on not letting Curtis Sliwa live it down. Let him vent and let him get on to broadcasting about other things. And if he wants to talk about the time he got shot by the Gaudis, let him. But I'll tell you this. If you at any point called yourself a friend of Curtis Sliwa's, and you start shaking hands with John Jr. and embracing John Jr., you're doing something wrong. Now, I got no beef with these people. I'm not in any kind of organized crime family. You know, I'm a spectator. I watch movies about these things like everybody, like every normal, regular civilian. But, if you're going out of your way to rub elbows with people who've already been proven to be part of that life, and these people, whether they're out of the life or not, are still talking about it like they're glorifying it, and you're friends with them, and they despise Curtis Slewa, what the hell are you doing? Why are you chumming it up with people that tried to kill him? There's something wrong with that. And you wouldn't be talking about that over and over again if you weren't chumming it up with people who tried to kill him. I don't know. He talks about Curtis Slewa being a disappointment. Sid Rosenberg has become a disappointment. Not as bad as Peter Rosenberg, though. But still a pretty bad disappointment. I honestly would hope Curtis Slewa does not try to run, because the way has to be paved for who I would hope would be a congresswoman by then, Tina Forte. But if he does run and wins the Republican nomination, I'll be there voting for him again. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, you got to drop out because this mediocre, moderate Democrat threw another wrench in the works. Stop with these moderates, okay? You want to know something? I despise the moderate Democrats more than I do the radical extremists. Because at least those sick bastards believe in what they're selling you. They believe it themselves. These moderates, they're neo-libs. They want to get into positions where they could put their finger on the nuclear button. They want to be in a position where they could sign off on weapons contracts and rub elbows with war profiteers. That's what that class of Democrat is into. Your Hillary Clintons, your Chuck Schumers, your Nancy Pelosi's. They're into pillaging the stock market and rubbing elbows with war profiteers so they could get some backdoor fundings, under the table fundings. And Andrew Cuomo is cut from that cloth. These people are selfish scumbags. They're actually worse than the radical extremists. I don't want no radical extremists. And we got one in City Hall right now. I didn't want him there. I didn't like him there. But what would have been worse is some neo-lib scumbag like Andrew Cuomo. So I guess that screws up my chances of ever being interviewed by Chris Cuomo. And I doubt Chris Cuomo would ever look for me with my, was it 365? It is no 387 subscribers. I forget. It's a low number. It's a three-figure number. And yeah, I doubt Chris Cuomo was looking for me to interview me or yell at me at any time in the future for calling his brother a scumbag. But anyway, speaking of scumbags, how about that Sid Rosenberg talking shit about Curtis? Let the guy have his radio show. Let him have it at a time slot the same as yours. Who cares? Who cares? You're the one talking shit now. Stop it. Where's the bigger person mentality? Let the guy vent. He has right and reason to vent. Oh my goodness. Can't believe we gotta talk about this shit just 2 days after the last time we talked about this shit. But here we are. You and your fear of Zohran Mamdani. That you got Mamdani derangement syndrome, okay? You're making this guy out to be such a horrific villain that some of us are going to start saying easy on the guy. He's stupid, but he's not evil. I mean, well, he might well be evil. Luckily, he's too stupid to carry out his evil. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. You know who it is. Your boy in the building. Composer of the song Cleansed with Fire, MC Too Tall. Don't be gross.